morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I am your host of Me First Mornings, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson, and I am so excited to be here this Monday. I feel refreshed and renewed. It was a nice weekend. I got to hang with my friend. Linda and her family came over. It was very, very nice. I hope you had a nice weekend too. So, I'm an intuitive coach and an energy healer, and I help people release old patterns through coaching and energy work, and together we can create aligned steps towards personal and professional success. That's what I do, in case you were wondering what I do. So, good morning. Thank you for being here. We are going to have another Me First morning together. If you're watching, say hello, good morning, hi. If you're watching on the replay, just put hashtag replay. And I am really, really happy to be here. I think I said that already, but I am. I'm happy to be here. And instead of coffee today, I felt like having a little green smoothie drink, and I'm using a unicorn straw. So, there's that. So let's begin by lighting our candle and setting sacred space. I have a really cool thing to share with you because I had this sort of epiphany yesterday, and it became really, really clear to me that everything we do is sacred. Everything, in fact, is sacred. And so we're going to talk about that. I think that myself as a busy mom of 3 children, kind of dealing with pandemic stuff and life stuff, it's easy to get caught up in not knowing sort of where you can sort of create your space. And as you guys know, well, some of you may know if you've been, watching me, is that my GPS word, the word that I sort of have really been using to guide me on my journey over the last 2 years, is spacious. It's really important for me, and I realized yesterday that that everything is sacred, and including our space. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But first, we lit the candle to set sacred space. So this sort of acknowledges that this is now our sacred space. To begin the morning ritual, I'm going to use a little essential oil to, support that. None of this is going to solve anything for you, but it's certainly a tool of support, a supportive tool. And I like to use supportive tools because they're good reminders, especially things like scent, sort of like trigger the brain and kind of get you there faster, right? So sacred frankincense is that for me. So good. I really, really enjoy the smell. I also have some flower essences that sometimes I will drop on my tongue. Let me tell you, when you're going through it, you use all the tools you can. Now, I'm having a good day today, so I can't really complain, but this is part of a routine that I've integrated into my days so that, on a good day or bad day, the routine remains and it helps keep me on track. This routine remains. All right, so what is next? Let's do our deep breathing, okay? Whew, I definitely need to breathe today, and I'm sure you do too. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths. When you breathe in, you're going to take a deep breath, and you're going to imagine that you are absorbing all of the love and light and support that the universe has to offer you. You're going to breathe in and then hold it for 5 seconds. And during those 5 seconds, you're going to imagine that same love, light, and all of the goodness that the universe has to offer you is permeating every part of your body, all your cells, and it's just radiating through you. And then when you breathe out, you're going to release any and all things that don't serve you. So that deep breath in is going to be like a cleansing breath. It's going to go through your body and break up any stagnant energy. And when you release it, you are releasing that stagnant energy and just letting it leave your body and asking, I was going to say Mother Nature. You can ask Mother Nature too, or, your spirit guides, or, Gaia, which is Mother Earth. to transmute it. And, so that way it's like washing your energy, right? Goes through the universal process, into the earth's core, and she, does the washing. And when it comes back, it is clean and pure and love and light once again. It's like the cycle. All right, so let's take that deep breath. You can feel free to put your, I like to hold my crystal spheres. It helps keep me kind of connected. You don't have to hold on to anything. You can just use your hands, put them face down or face up, or put your hands in a mudra. I don't know if that one is, but let's just go with it. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, deep breath in. Oh, good morning, Linda. Welcome. Okay, once again, we're going to take that deep breath in. Imagine all of God's love, light, and energy entering into our body. Hold for 5 seconds. 1. As you hold, imagine the love just permeating all of your cells. And then breathe out anything that doesn't serve you. Let's do that one more time. Oh, that feels good. I also need a little stretch this morning, so feel free to join me in the stretch. Apparently my back needed cracking too. So this is just to sort of wake up the body. That's the idea, right? We're having a me first morning because we want to wake up our body. We want to set our intentions. And we want to create our day our way, right? I want you to create your day your way. And today I'm actually talking about creating your day to honor your way. And that is about the process that I thought of, which is that everything is sacred, okay? Everything is sacred. So now that we've taken the deep breaths, we're going to set the intention with our prayer. And when we say the prayer, if it doesn't apply to you, or if you feel like it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. You can just stay quiet. You can say your own prayer, or just like meditate a little bit, okay? Thank you so much. So let's do that. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that do not serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. All right, rock and roll. Let's pull a card. Good morning, whoever's joined us. I am pulling from the Colette Baron Reed deck, the Enchanted Map, because I'm all about finding guidance and connecting with your inner GPS. And sometimes we can get lost along the way, right? We get, people we love will give us, advice or send us direction, and it may or may not resonate with us, or society has certain expectations of who they want us to be or who they think we should be. And so sometimes we get a little lost. And so, part of Me First Mornings is to connect with yourself, to reconnect with yourself, and also for you to be able to form your own conversation with God, your own conversation with Spirit, and ask for the guidance that you need. And, if you don't want to wait for signs, or sometimes the conversation may feel unclear, the response may feel unclear, I like to use oracle cards because I almost always know what they're trying to tell me. I always know what they're trying to tell me because it's never something that you don't already know for yourself. There's never new information when you pull a card. It's just a way to communicate, and you get a little nod, and you're like, man, I knew that. I knew I needed to hear that today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I like to pull the card. So let's, so as I was talking about everything is sacred, let's see what the spirits have to say about that and this grand realization that I had yesterday. the thing is too, is it's not about having a grand realization or like that I didn't realize that everything was sacred, but it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks last night when I was cleaning up my house. I was washing my dishes and I was washing a pan and I was like, trying to make sure that I got all the dirt off. And then I was like, well, I'll just set the intention that as I scrub, like everything that, doesn't serve me will leave, because it was, one of those baking sheets that, they end up getting like stained, so some stuff comes off, but some stuff just kind of stays there for as long as you have the baking sheet, right? And so as I was washing it, I was like, I'm going to set the intention that everything that needs to be removed from this for our highest and greatest good and safety, will be removed. And that's kind of when it started to hit me. I was like, everything is a sacred experience. Even washing the dishes, like I am releasing the things that don't serve my family. I'm releasing the remnants of this meal that we had, the fuel that we ingested, whatever's left over. We no longer need it. It is waste. So it is an opportunity for us to release it and say, okay, I don't need that. Thank you very much. And I really started to think about how I could use that to integrate into my day even more so. Because one of the things that I personally always struggled with in the spiritual journey, in the personal development journey, was like making time for all the things that people recommend that you make time for, right? 20-minute meditation and yoga and journaling. And I'm like, I've got 3 kids, like my oldest is just about to turn 13, the other 2 are like 10 and 8. It's a busy household. There is a lot going on. We had a flood last year. I'm still sorting through things. Ask yourself why. Because I have a very busy life. So, and I have so much anxiety that I realized that I have more than I thought. And, when things start to pile up, it becomes overwhelming. And then to add in, like, let me take this time away, it added more anxiety, in my experience. And so slowly, what this year has become has been about not making time for that specifically. Although I think it's important that you do make your own time. And I sit outside in the backyard and sort of, that's my quiet time. But integrate the sacredness of your life into your day-to-day activities, right? Integrating the welcoming of good feelings and the releasing of energy, like with everything that you do. Because if it becomes a part of your day, then you're always doing it. You are always integrating what you need in your life. And that is much different than, I'm going to do this so that I can get that, right? Like the manifestation that people talk about a lot, I want to create this in my life, so I'm going to sit down and call in all this. It's really about living a sacred life, realizing how powerful you are, realizing how you can control as much as you can, right? There's control and surrender. There's like a little dance that we do with the universe. But you can, create the day that you need in order for you to have the journey that you need in your day, in your life, with your family, with your friends, in your relationships. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but I think we're ready to pull a card. What is this? Coming to life. All right. Okay, and it came upside down. So it's number 29. Okay, and she's holding this orb up here. And it says, coming to life. And I really feel that this is connected to the transformation that all of us have been going through. And it's almost like we're blossoming, right? And it's spring. It's perfect. But it did come upside down, which with Colette Baron-Reid, she always says that her cards, when they come upside down, there's a protection message. So perhaps this and I'm going to actually read this one because I haven't come across this card very often, I have to be honest with you. And so it says coming to life. I feel like it's, it's like allowing yourself to blossom, allowing yourself to come to life, allowing yourself and not being afraid to ignite that fire inside of you. It's funny, one of my boys asked me today because I've been reading the book by Glennon Doyle, Untamed. I've been reading it for months because I just read it like in little bits. And he asked me, he said, Mom, what does the name of the book mean, Untamed? And I sort of explained to him, and if you've read the book or if you know Glennon Doyle, really it's all about sort of connecting with that wild person inside, not wild like wild and crazy, but the nature part of us, right? And so she tells a story about a cheetah who is in a zoo, and they train him to chase after this like pink bunny, in a car. And she talks about how her and her daughter saw this cheetah after kind of like walking back and forth in his, pen. And sorry, I'm going to turn this off. And you can almost feel the melancholy, right? And why wouldn't this cheetah feel like something is missing, right? Because the cheetah is a cheetah and should be in the jungle. So, and she compared it to us, and specifically the book is a lot about, women. And she talks about how, we're sort of like, in this structure that we're supposed to fit into. We're all supposed to like fit in these boxes that we've been given. And there's a part of us that feels like something is missing, that something's not connecting, like there's got to be more than this. And it's like our wild side. And as I said, it's not wild as in like, like, let's go party, right? Although, whatever, no judgment, believe me, no judgment. But there is like this part of us that feels contained, because we have to act a certain way, we have to do certain things, we have to fulfill certain obligations, and it can feel totally confining, in our lives, and we can have this sort of like inner ache because we're not connected to our true selves. And so that's what a lot of this May 1st morning is about. For me personally, I want to help you sort of connect with your authentic self. I'm good with wild. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, I know. Sherry, welcome. So let me just take a look at what the card means, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Let me see what Paulette Barron-Reed says. Something beautiful is being born in your life. What? That's exactly what I was talking about. Come on, people. And so reverse, okay? So the coming to life card is a gentle reminder to get out of your own way, to let go and let spirit lead. New life is unstable in the beginning and needs gentle care. Farmers don't go into the fields and pull up the shoots of the plants to see how they're doing. They know everything has its own cycle of growth. Let nature take its course. Find other things to focus on right now. Simplicity and small steps are the order of the day. When the time is right, you will see the miracle. I gotta tell you, that could not be a more perfect card for my realization that everything is sacred. We are in the process every single day and in every moment of shaping ourselves and shaping, those people around us. We, obviously we don't have control over the people around us and control over who they become, even as a parent, but we do have influence, and we can add light and love, right? Like, just like the sun can't control nature, can't control the plants, but the sun can shine. And when the sun shines, the plants can take what they need from it, right? We are the sun for each one of us. I shine for you as you shine for me. And each one of us, like, we are interconnected. We need each other's energy. We need each other's nutrients, right? The plants in the garden kind of feed off each other. The soil is for all of the plants in the area. And when it rains, it doesn't rain for just one plant. It rains for the whole garden. The sun shines on the whole garden. And so each of us need to sort of be available to that and take what we need from it. And remember that everything is part of this spiritual growth, this spiritual experience, and this human experience. The human experience is a spiritual experience, right? I'm sure you've heard the saying, we are spiritual beings living a human experience, which we are, but that's part of our experience. We're kind of learning what it's like to be in this particular situation. Just like avatars in a video game, where we're like, oh, I'm going to be like this character, right? So we've chosen these characters, and each challenge we face is one that's going to shape our next level. It's going to shape whether or not we get to, we go this way or that way. It's like build your own adventure, right? Remember those books, the build your own adventure books, where you'd be like, oh, what do you do when you get to the, when you get to the mountain, do you go through the waterfall or do you take the cave, and you get to decide. If you take the cave, certain things are going to unfold for you. And if you decide to go through the waterfall, other things are going to unfold for you, but they're all part of your experience, and you get to choose what experience you have. And if you realize that everything about the entire process is sacred, right? That, if you woke up every morning and you had someone come to you and say, today's challenges include this, this, and this. And if you pass these challenges, you will move forward into the next level. Remember that everything is sacred. Remember that you are divinely guided and protected. And remember, you are on a mission to share your light and your gift onto the planet. Then you'd wake up and you'd be like, okay, bring it. Let's go. I'm on a mission, right? And then in comes your kid screaming, Mommy, I can't find my pants, right? And it's so easy for us to flip into that human side. What do you mean you can't find your pants? Find them in the dryer, right? But if you thought, and if you truly understood everything is sacred here, and I am contributing or influencing the development of these sacred beings who are also going to contribute their special gift into the planet, how would you change your response? If you were in a temple or in a church and someone said, can you just watch these kids, right? You might speak to them differently. You might have a different perspective of how you teach them, because you're like, I'm in a sacred, I'm in a sacred space. I'm in a sacred temple. I have to kind of mind my manners, or I have to, whatever it is. Well, our home is our sacred temple. Our body is our sacred personal space. It is the container for our spirit, right? Our children are also part of this sacred human experience that we are all having. So how can we remind ourselves in each and every moment how sacred everything is and how integral honoring each moment is to the expansion and the growth of our human spirit, right? If we looked at it as, this is the path that God has provided me, right? And I have to go through this in order to spread my love and spread my gift, and that is my purpose here. Your purpose here is not, it can be to have some grand purpose, but your purpose here is to get through the day-to-day, right? How are you handling your daily missions, right? We're given daily missions. Wake up, take the kids to school, make lunch, prepare the house, whatever it is that you have. I obviously work from home, so that, those are some of the things that I have to do, but you may have to go to work and make sure I get all these things done. And what if your work, even if you don't see it as your dream job, was also part of that sacred experience of creating the person that you are meant to be? You would probably deal with work differently. And then every challenge that came your way, you would be like, what part of this is for my growth? And if I am to grow as a person, how can I respond to this to encourage my growth, right? To help and support me in becoming the person I need to be. I had a great conversation with a friend yesterday, and depending on the day and depending on the challenge and depending on the relationship, there may be different responses to different things, right? So you may be someone who is, typically quiet and mild and really doesn't want to, make waves. And so when something happens, it may be your personal challenge to speak up more, to say things, and to, advocate for yourself, which I recommend everybody advocate for themselves. But sometimes advocating for yourself means staying quiet. And what I mean by that is, if you have somebody who is, toxic in your life, to engage with them, you are allowing them into your energetic space, and you are also trying to prove yourself to them if you engage. And, there's many different situations and it really depends. You have to sort of decide for yourself. In this moment, is it more empowering for me to walk away and ignore the drama that's happening here? Or is it more empowering for me to step in and say, hey, hold on a second. That's not exactly how it works, right? And in different situations, those things are needed, right? Social justice, you got to stand up and talk and speak out and advocate for yourself and advocate for people who need, support in that, right? And then there's other situations where you're like, I'm not even going to bother getting in an argument with you because this is a useless waste of my time. And you get to decide what creates a more powerful and more sacred experience. So I urge you today, when you're thinking about your daily ABCs, think about how can you create a sacred space for yourself. And keep in mind that you don't have to create it all at once, because if you just use it as a reminder for yourself, hey, this is my sacred space. This is my sacred journey. What do I need to do to make this something that feels more connected to who I am on the inside? What do I need to do to make this feel more aligned with my mission, with my personal beliefs and values and perspective? And that's going to be different for every person, but nobody else gets to decide that but you. And that's why we're doing Me First Morning. So I encourage you today to take a few moments and think about your daily ABCs. So the first thing is you want to figure out your GPS word if you haven't already. And as I have mentioned before, if you guys watch, I have a free workbook. I'm like, which way is it? I don't know. It looks this way from where I am. I have a free workbook called Access Your Success GPS Workbook, and that will take you through the GPS process. And if you want help with it, you sort of need someone to kind of hold your hand through it, or you want me to ask you questions and we can go through the process together. Also in the description, I have a Me First special session. Now I say special session because I usually charge much more for these sessions, but if you find out about it through Me First Mornings and you click on through Me First Mornings, then you get it for $88 because that is the number of transformation. Okay, so that's that. So first you have to think about your GPS word. So I already said to you guys that the GPS word for me that I have chosen for the last 2 years is spacious. So I always kind of keep that at the top of my mind, and you can write it down really quickly or whatever. And then you go through your ABCs. So A is, what are you avoiding? What is it in your life that you really don't want to do, but you know you need to do it for your own growth and expansion? And there's not just going to be one thing. There's going to be probably a whole lot of things. If you haven't already made a list, I recommend that you do, so you can kind of go, okay, what on the list am I willing to do today? And you can do it just like that. Of course, the higher the resistance, the greater the avoidance, the greater the reward too at the end. So that's up to you. You take your time, you move at your own pace, pick something from the list of things that you're avoiding and work on that. And so that's your A for today. And your B is all about body. What are you going to do for your body? How are you going to connect with your body? How are you going to honor your body? How are you going to make your body feel like the sacred space that it is for your soul? And that's up to you. And you can do anything. You can dance, you can go for a walk, you can just do some movement, some stretching, some yoga, or you can just sit there and feel your body and connect with it and ask it what it needs from you. And then C is create. So what are you going to create today? How are you going to create this sacred day? Oh, good morning, Leslie. How are you? And that is the question you need to ask yourself. And this is something you should keep at the top of your mind as much as possible. And it is something that I will remind you of because I'm going to be reminding myself of it, is everything is sacred, right? Everything is a sacred experience. So how can I ensure that I am honoring the sacredness of my life today? So I leave you with that. I will be back tomorrow for another Me First Morning. I'm here Monday through Friday, every day at 10 a.m. unless something comes up. But so far I've only missed one day and I was just a little later. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And as I said, if you want a session with me, I can talk you through the Me First GPS word, and we can do that together. So just go into the description, go ahead and click that link, and you're all set. Any questions, call me. Otherwise, or I should say PM me. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, blessed, sacred day.